I've started and restarted this video at least 5 times. That alone should tell you everything you need to know about my relationship with consistency. It's honestly not that natural to me. I literally wake up with a head full of chaos and ideas. And somehow I still find ways to show up. Not perfectly, but consistently enough to keep going. That's what this video is about. Being consistent is hard. There, I said it. Staying consistent is hard. And I said it before and I'll say it again. You can't really have consistency without discipline. They have to coexist. They have to live amongst each other. They have to be combined. And this is just my opinion. I feel like it could work without discipline, but oftentimes it is a lot harder for it to work. For me, consistency takes a whole lot of effort, and that's because discipline takes me a little bit of time, and I am still learning. So yes, consistency for me takes a whole lot of effort, unfortunately. I think for the longest we've been conditioned to think that consistency and even discipline looks a certain way. That's how we ended up with highly curated morning routines where people wake up at 6 a.m. every morning for success. It's always highly successful people wake up at this time and then they do boot camp and then do a 10-step skincare routine and finally get to work at 9 a.m. Every time a that girl trend comes out, the wake up time always gets earlier and earlier. We've actually made it to 3 a.m. at this point. Discipline especially doesn't have a look or aesthetic. Also, it doesn't have to be so super structured or harsh. Consistency used to feel like this really far away dream where everything was color coded and I had the planner. I was really diligent about writing all of my to-dos down. And for the longest, I did chase that. And I was like, okay, I can do this. To a certain extent, that stuff can work. But if you're really not a planner girl, or you're just not really interested in having these like very structured routines, it's probably not going to work too well for you. Here's the thing, even if you do want to be the better version of you, it's still not going to be perfect. You're still going to mess up. You're still going to have days where your energy is low and you just don't feel like doing it. Even when your space is a mess, you're still going to want to do what you have to do. And this is something that I've had to learn. A lot of the times we build barriers up for ourselves and we will say like, okay, well, if my room isn't clean, I can't film, or if my room isn't clean, I can't study. You know, if I don't have makeup on, I can't take pictures, or I can't do my B-roll without any makeup on. Then we'll be like, well, I don't really feel like putting makeup on, so I guess I'm not filming today. We set these barriers up for ourselves and they really do get in the way and they stop us from being consistent. Being consistent is really just about showing up. You don't have to be perfect. My room looks a mess right now, and I know I'm working on trying to be more organized, but I still am gonna film because I promised myself I would be consistent with these YouTube videos. I think when we hear the word discipline, we really think of this harsh like punishment. And here's the thing, discipline does not have to be hard and it does not have to be a punishment. In fact, it can be very soft and inviting. But because discipline has a negative connotation, really due to, parenting styles, we tend to take the word discipline and when we use it on ourselves, we tend to be very hard on ourselves when we do not have to be. A lot of the times discipline is going to look like, hey, you did say you were going to do this every day. So go ahead and do the thing that you said you were going to do. That's all discipline looks like. It doesn't have to be like, well, you're stupid and you need to get up and go exercise because you said you was going to exercise, you horrible person. Sometimes things do get in the way of being consistent, and that's usually ourselves. Sometimes we don't set boundaries. We're easily distracted. We might have undiagnosed spicy brain, as they say, or we just simply don't have the motivation. Even with those barriers, it is still very possible to be consistent. There are also some other things that may get in the way as well. I think one of the reasons why I tend to lack consistency with a lot of things in my life is simply because my brain is focused on other things all at once, like multiple things at once. I call this artist brain, but I'm starting to think it's really more my multi-passionate brain, because I feel like a lot of artists, they really just want to paint and that's it, or draw, whatever their medium is. They want to do that art and do it. But a lot of us have gotten roped into being business owners as well, and content creators on top of being an artist. And that kind of sucks. Like, you want to create your art, but you have to be a business owner and you have to be a content creator. Those are all different full-time jobs. As a multi-passionate, I actually don't mind taking on those roles. I just have to know when to do each one. With my multi-passionate brain, I always just want to do everything. Like, some days I'll be like, okay, I want to crochet up these shorts. I want to draw today and make a new sticker. I want to sew my scrunchies. I also want to make this halter top. Oh, and I want to do this. My brain short circuits. Sometimes it gets done. Sometimes I only end up doing one thing. And usually if I get one thing done, that's good. That's a good thing. But that's why it is very important to be, and this is where the discipline comes in with the consistency. Because with the discipline, you're like, okay, well, what do you want to do the most right this minute? What do you want to do the most today? And you come up with that. That's why I believe it is important to come up with a very simple to-do list of the 3 things that you plan on doing in a day. One of the cool things is you can switch them out. So with the to-dos, literally just write down what you're going to do that day, what you want to do the most if you're multi-passionate, and along with those to-dos, also rope in your non-negotiables. And for me, non-negotiables are going to be like, yeah, eat breakfast, eat lunch, eat dinner, and make that work for you. For me, that also looks like gardening. You need to garden because I have a vegetable garden going on, and guess what? I gotta make sure that looks okay. There's nothing attacking it and all that. Another one is my skincare routine. I make sure to stay on top of my skincare routine because, you know, gotta keep the skin looking nice. Those are non-negotiables for me. And then usually around 9, 10 o'clock, that is a wind down. That is a non-negotiable as well. We cannot stay up all night if we want to continue to be consistent and disciplined. Being consistent isn't easy, and I'll be real, at first being disciplined isn't easy either. Holding yourself accountable is hard, but in the words of my dad, if it were easy, everyone would do it. Thank you so much for watching. I know that this was a little bit of a shorter video. I'm not really sure what people are liking right now, short videos, long videos. I'm just making the content that I want to make and what I want to talk about, and it's working for me. You guys have been running up those views and I love that. So let's keep it up. There is so much I actually want to talk about, and I am going to try to do 2 videos a week, but we'll see, because that is a lot of work, and these videos do take a little bit more extra time to edit, so hang in there with me. All right, but yeah, thank you so much for watching. If you made it this far, leave heart hands in the comments, and I will see you in the next one. Okay, bye.